Morning day traders, and this is your DAX review for today. So yesterday was pretty much nothing day for the DAX, but we are testing this level again. So this level of 12500 is definitely the line in the sand at the moment. So you can see momentum has dried up at the moment, and we are also very much overbought. So looking at the lower time frames, this kind of structure, a break below the hanging man here would validate an entry, and your stop would be up to the upside here. And that is 127 points at the moment. So if we just start breaking down to lower time frames just to see what kind of structure we got on the 3 hour, we do have some structure forming here. We had on Friday we had a bit of a piercing pattern, ever so slight piercing pattern here. We then bounced back up to test the highs yesterday, and now we've ended up with this little range bar, and I just want to put a level in there because a break below 12471 validates that range break, but it's a very small target, pretty much 34 points, which brings us right back onto where we had some buyers step in, and you can see there's a bit of a fractal here as well. Okay, so let's look at what we can do, what this is indicating today. So we had a move to the downside in the morning first. We had this inside bar, which validated a move back to the upside, which is what you would expect. We had a pretty strong move. You'd expect a second attempt. This is the second attempt. The question now is, has the second attempt failed? Okay, that is the big question that we have at the moment. So I'm going to come back down to even lower time frames. And yesterday we had these two fractal levels here as our break. I'm just going to fine tune this one. We've had the break to the downside, which would indicate a short. And let's just take that to the upside. Delete that one. So there's our upside fractal. Here's a downside fractal. We had this break. We came back up. Okay. Now the problem is we kind of formed another lower fractal here, and we've broken that fractal. So yeah, technically speaking, once this was going, you would have moved your stop to this fractal here, and that would have stopped you out. Okay, so there's nothing much to read into this at the moment. I think the key element at the moment is pretty much range. Okay, we are range bound at the moment. This low of yesterday is the line in the sand right now, and that would almost validate a double top. Okay, zero momentum at the moment, and we are overbought. Looking at the 12 minutes, we can see we had this move down, and we pretty much broke through the trend line, tested it, and then moved up. And now we are pretty much, for most of the US session, sitting in a range. Okay, so this is pretty much what I'm looking to do at the moment. And we'll take the 12-minute right now because look at this. And I think I'd even just raise it slightly. I want to get what the risk is here. 25 points. Okay, now this is a reasonably good setup in my books anyway. So I would expect a break of this structure is going to give me a half decent trade. Okay, it's only 25 points in height, but because we are waiting for earnings season at the moment, and we're also waiting for more information on the actual trade deal. So all we have is there's almost secondhand information on the trade deal. There's no real concrete proof of that the deal was met, firstly, and what is the deal. So I think there's a lot of nervous traders at the moment that are waiting for that. Plus, you've got earnings season that kicked off yesterday. Okay, so these are the two areas that I'll be looking at, and wait for that first hour on the DAX. So 8 o'clock open. Wait for 9 o'clock when the real open, because 8 to 9 is sort of pre-market. Wait for 9 o'clock and then see what we're going to get. But I do believe if we get a break of this range, it's going to dictate the tone. Now, move to the upside is a potential very messy measured move. Okay, that measured move is around 100 points. I'm just going to go back to a higher time frame, and that basically breaks the high, which would make sense because you would expect this to be challenged. Okay, now I have my doubts about that move. I'm more inclined to believe that we're going to break this to the downside and come and test possibly the lows of yesterday to form a bigger range. We'll put 2 levels in here. Let's go to the hour. And you can see there's 2 bars, there's 2 bars. If I move to the other side, you'll see this lower bar here has quite a bit of merit. Just delete that one. Right. Okay, so this area here, we basically tested it on Friday. Sorry, not on Friday, we tested it yesterday. So, if we do break, and I'm just going to do this. So if we do break below 12,385, that's going to bring this gap play. Well, we're going to give the gap into play, not gap play, but we're going to bring the gap into play. Okay, so that's kind of the outlook that I have at the moment. I'm very wary about this because it is starting to look, even the awesome oscillator on the hour is starting to roll. It sort of created a high and then a much lower high. So, and it's red running down. So there's a lot going on here. So my favor is more to the downside than to the upside at the moment. And I just want to close off with the ichimoku quickly. So on the on the 1 hour ichimoku, you see the trend is up. We are sort of hovering very close together, so anything can happen at the moment. Looking at the 4 hour, look how far away we are from Kijinsen. So we broke through the cloud. We haven't tested the cloud. We've created this indecision pattern up here, and we are pretty much overbought as well. You would expect some kind of a pullback. Okay, and for me, a retest of Kijinsen and then the cloud would be on the cards. If you just go to the daily, this is the one that's really worrying me. So that's our line in the sand. We've rejected it again. We've got an inside bar, hanging man. Okay. A daily close below the low of yesterday of 12,381. Doesn't spell disaster, but it does mean we've got a retest of the daily Kijinsen. And with Kijinsen and Kijinsen running together like that, that is total confusion. Okay, or range. So you'd expect to move down, and maybe some buyers step in there, but I'd expect them to push it to the gap, and then we have to wait and see if there's some structure that'll form down here. Okay, so the daily picture is not very rosy. The short-term picture is still fairly positive. If you look at the 12-minute on Ichimoku, you can see we've had a crossover into the close. We've had a breakthrough price here. I doubt we've had a twist to the cloud. Cloud is massive at the moment on the 12-minute, which indicates massive resistance to the left. Okay, so yeah, confusion reigns, I think, and you're going to have to be very careful and keep your wits about you. Don't try and chase a long trade. I think any break to the downside, I'd expect sort of some structure or some buyers to step in on this 12-minute cloud here. So I'd expect some buyers to step in around 12,440. Then the question is whether it comes back up to test the top of the cloud, and you can see how this level plays out with the cloud of 12,472, and if it rejects that level, then that's a move to the downside. Now, picture this chart without the cloud, without Ichimoku on, a break of the range, move down, come back, test the break of the range, and continue to the downside. Okay, so there's a lot of structure, a lot of price action that's indicating you need to be careful. Even at the 30-minute on the ichimoku coming for a twist here, we kind of broke through price, but we're hovering. We had a death cross here, and we got a bullish cross or a golden cross, which normally is something we need to pay attention to. But I'm pretty weary at the moment. Okay, I just bear one thing in mind. If we do break below the low of yesterday, it brings a double top into play, okay? And that double top will be pretty much not quite gap close, sort of that retest, and that would be my target anyway. 12,202 area. 12,205 probably would be my target. I'm willing to sacrifice a gap just in case there's some ambushes that come in. It'll be close enough to the bottom of the cloud here as well. Okay, anyway guys, that's it for me today. I think I'll favor the shorts on the DAX at the moment rather than the longs. But if we do get a daily close above this daily level of 12,493 or 12,500, that would change my tune in looking for longs. But at this stage, I think it's not looking very rosy. Okay, here we go. That's it for me today. Hope it helps, and I'll catch you later. Cheers for now.